Priceline, is it a valid contract? To be a legal, binding contract, there needs to be two essential components: an agreement and a consideration. There within the agreement and its consideration lies an assortment of provisions that add to the legalities of a contract. This includes an offer, performance, terms, condition, obligation, payment terms, liability, and default, breach of contract, etc. There must be an offer, a counteroffer, and eventually within the contract, with what a contract law calls a meeting of the minds. All of these that's what it takes to be a legal binding contract. When you read Priceline's terms and condition, everything falls on the user, who's the person who wants to make the purchase and is looking for a good deal. Priceline really does not take any responsibilities. When you read their terms and condition, everything falls on you. You have to be careful with contracts like that because they're one-sided and they expect you, if something happens, to protect Priceline. But will Priceline protect you? No. According to their terms and condition, they don't protect you. In fact, they want to consider you as a independent contractor. And I was trying to figure out how you could be an independent contractor when using Priceline. Okay. When you use Priceline site, okay, so I wanted to know what an independent contractor was considered. According to the IRS, independent contractor, you are not an independent contractor if you perform services that are controlled by an employer. What will be done and how it will be done, and so forth and so forth. This applies even if you are given freedom of action. As long as someone is telling you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, what to do, you're not an independent contractor. So Priceline, therefore, that in that little part makes that invalid conclusion on their part. What matters is that an employer has the legal rights to control the details of how services are performed, and that's what Priceline actually do. They control what you do, how you use their site. They can make all the rules and regulations, but all you have to do is follow what they're saying, and you don't get any say in how things go. If something happens and it's out of your control, Priceline will not stand up for you. They may not even come back and say, hey, we see this happening. Is there anything we can do? Everything falls on your shoulder. And if everything is falling on my shoulders, then I could do it myself, take full responsibility for my actions, and I really don't need Priceline. So when you look at that, that makes me wonder if they're a valid company to say they're giving you, the terms and conditions, or is it a valid contract? In my opinion, no, they're not a valid contract because they take no responsibility for none of their actions on their site. They're telling you that you're using their site as a go-between. So they're the third party in saying that you have a contract between me and you, but really you don't have a contract between me and you. You're using my services to go use someone else's services, and I'm just the go-between third party saying, okay, I brokered a deal with such and such for you to get this deal. So on your behalf, I went to them and talked to them for you, and now you're in a contract with me to go to use this XYZ hotel, car rental, airlines, etc. Well, if you look at what they're saying and what they've done, you can do it yourself. So really, Priceline is a good idea, but Priceline isn't giving you any of the valid statements of a contract, because a contract is between two or more parties that have a meeting of the mind. There's no meeting of the minds because everything is one-sided on the Priceline website. Everything is for Priceline's benefit. Nothing is for the consumer's benefit. You get a good deal on the prices, but that's it. You can negotiate your own deals when it comes down to dealing with hotels and rental car places and things like that. You shop around and you tell them, hey, I saw this deal on such and such, and but nobody wants to do that. It's easier to give control of interest to someone else, and that's what you've done with Priceline. So if I had to go into court and fight to say Priceline was giving me a great deal and it was legal and it was fair and it was in my best interest, I would have to say no. The contract is not a valid contract because it's too one-sided. The contract is all about Priceline and Priceline deals and what Priceline's going to get out of the deal, and you get a small something out of the deal, but it's more beneficial for Priceline than it is for the consumer. So for all intents and purposes, I would not consider this a valid contract. It's a contract that has too many one-sided deals that benefits Priceline. Priceline will never go to court for you. Priceline will never do this. Priceline will never do that. They have more of what they won't do for you than what they will do for you. And that's just too one-sided for me. So if you want to use Priceline, that's fine. But personally, I'll think twice before I ever use sites like that. Thank you. Have a great day.